Hello, fellow internet dweller, Brickineer here, and in today's video we're going to be looking at set number 6097, the Night Lord's Castle, from the short but sweet Fright Night line of castle sets. This set came out back in 1997, what is like 24 years ago. So it's a very old set and contains 601 pieces. A lot of those pieces are big. You know, we have like castle pieces. There's corner castles, archways, big pillars, stuff like that. So it might not have that many pieces in it, but those are pretty big pieces, so that contributes to a really big set. It has 8 minifigures, one of which is a skeleton, which for some reason it counts as a minifigure. And it originally retailed for $80, which adjusted for inflation is $130 US, of course. Now, if you want to get this set, nowadays you're looking at around $163 used and $410 sealed. So about those numbers is what you're probably going to be paying for this massive castle. Let's take a look at the finer details of the set. But first, to make this review easier for me, but also to show one of the coolest parts, just right out of the gate, is that this is a very modular building. What I mean by that is that it's supposed to be able to come apart very easily. So basically, all you do is you remove this piece here, and you turn around castle, and you're going to remove this one here. And then, boom, it splits into two here, and then it splits into a third part as well, which is by removing these two tiles, these two red tiles, you're able to remove the tower, like so. So you have the tower part, you have this throne room part, which kind of acts as its own side over here. We can look at that later. And then we also have the front gate, which we'll take a look at first. So here is the front gate. Now, its front is decorated with the Fright Night logo, which is this bat. Looks pretty cool. You get a lot of these shields. They're mainly used for decoration, but if you really wanted to, you could take them off and give them to some of the minifigures. We got these cool iron windows there to see inside. And this whole thing is built upon a big, it's not a base plate, it is a, let's count here. That would be a 12 by who knows how long brick, basically. It's just a massive brick. And we also have a smaller brick to extend into the front here. Get two doors on the sides. They open backwards. They don't open forwards because there's a block here. And I'm pretty sure this piece here is supposed to be a an arc. I just didn't have the piece. So there is a couple of pieces here that have been replaced or missing because this is an old set. So I'll just point those out when we find them. So that's what you enter into. Then we have inside there, you get a little corner. You could probably fit a minifigure in there, but it's not really used for anything, and neither is the other side. The interior of this half of the castle is pretty empty. As you can see, there's nothing going on. You could have horses here. This could be like a stable with these bags here being like for food for the horses. But you could really use it for whatever you want. Maybe it's a training ground for knights. Who knows? Whatever you want it to be. I would get these big pillar pieces that hold up this top section. This is kind of like the roof or whatever. And there's not really a way to access it from this half or from the other half. You just walk your guy up there. You get a really cool trap here that it looks like it uses friction or something, but that's not the case. So you have a cauldron with some rocks, and basically you lift this here, and that's probably because I put it on wrong. Like so, and you drop the cauldron, and the rocks are just like these 1x1 cylinders, but that goes down. So this is for any unwanted visitors to the front half of the castle. There's multiple more traps, of course. That is the main one. And then moving back to the front here, a really cool way to open the gates here. So you can remove this piece, and then that is what's holding up the gate. So you can let it slam down using one of these old gate pieces. And it's held up with a chain. This chain is supposed to be dark old gray, but I didn't have one, or the one that I did have was broken, so I just swapped it out for that chain. Then we have some bats here, because of course this is the bat themed knights, and a cool little flag you can see there. Really awesome piece. And then you have a smaller flag on this side here without the logo. So that is really all for the front half. There's not really much to it. It is very large, a lot of space for play. Like, you know, you can fit your figures. Maybe you take one of the archers that comes in the set. You can set them up to guard. It's not too convenient. You can't really have them angled, of course. And then there's another balcony right here. It's supposed to be for like the Bat Lord. But yeah, there's a lot of space to put minifigures. There's not too many functions or features put in. There's just a lot of space. So that is the front half of the Night Lord's castle. The second half is a bit more detailed. First off, you have a better interior, I would say, with a throne, a table with a cup on it, and you get some storage for like weapons, so you can just slide the weapon inside there. You also get a fireplace right there. Now this fireplace is of course special because it is a trick fireplace, or whatever you want to call it. So you can open it from the back and it will turn, and then you have a secret entrance or exit. Now one of the pegs kind of wore off, so that's why it's having trouble to turn, but it's like a secret entrance or exit. So if the king is under attack, maybe he could escape, the Night Lord, he could escape out here, or maybe if you're attacking, then the attackers, sorry about that, the attackers can enter through there. You get some more pillars here. Pillars actually look pretty cool here. When you attach this to the second half, there's like 2 pillars, and then it doesn't look as good, but when you just look at it from here, it looks pretty good. You get the same doors, just this time there is no door, so you have the same archway, kind of the same entrance, and you have an arch piece that makes that up. You actually have, looks like 2 arch pieces, so adding a little bit of depth there, which is pretty neat. On the back, you get some more shields, because this is also supposed to be able to be used as another front, as you'll see in a little bit. You got the arches again, and then on the top here, where of course the castle tower would be, this can slide in here pretty easily. But when you remove it, you have a little table with another cup, and this is another trap. So if you have another intruder, you can put them on there, and then just remove this. And they're not supposed to fall that way. They're supposed to fall down and die from fall damage. So that's a neat little trap there. Love all these traps in the old sets. And then you get another kind of balcony, but it has a big hole because it's supposed to be used to have the tower on there. And I guess if you really wanted to, you could just fit the tower on like that instead of the other way. But now let's take a look at that tower. Here it is. Now you can put these red tiles back on once you have removed it. Get 4 floors on this tower. The first floor here, it's kind of how you get onto it, and you get a little scroll with some potions, I would say those are, but it has another sliding door. I'm not going to turn it because it might break again, but it has a skeleton on the back of it to spook whoever's reading that book, that scroll. Then on the second floor, you have a little crystal ball that has a skeleton head inside. Now this is a very odd feature. I'm not exactly sure what it's supposed to do, but I think there's a wand inside here that's supposed to like push this out with this lever here. So let's try. So it launches this crystal ball with a skeleton head in it, and it doesn't really fall out unless you shake it really well. So I guess it's supposed to be a spooky crystal ball or something. And then once you rearm the trap by moving the thingy back down, like so, you can put the crystal ball back on there. And you got some flames right there. Looks pretty neat. Moving up again, we have the jail cell. Very interesting way to have a jail door here. You have a chain, and you can remove that chain. This is supposed to lock it, of course. And then you can open that guy right there. Might have to move the chain because it can get in the way. And you might want to take one of the prisoners. I'll just take this random guard here and throw him in there. He can, of course he has a spear. Throw him in there, close it up. Or if you need to lock it, just put that on there. And like that, you have a prisoner. Got 3 windows to the door. 3 windows to the jail cell. Some nice angled pieces here for a little design. And a little rooftop with some more bats. Pretty interesting. Love these little archway windows. Look really nice. The alternating brick, cylinder brick, looks really cool. And then you also have a little treasure chest at the top. So I guess this could be like 5 stories. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. You just can't fit a minifigure here. But this chest, I guess gems weren't invented, like the little diamond pieces. So we have 4 different colored translucent studs that go in there. And that can just be placed on here like so. And finally, we have the top of the tower with some little clips for weapons. And then you also have a little telescope that's able to move quite a bit. It can move up and down. As well as 360 degrees. So you get a lot of range of motion. And supposedly the witch here is supposed to be up here and watch over the castle. So that is the tower in all of its glory. Now, this isn't the only way to have the castle set up. Because it is pretty modular, you're able to take each part, each of the 3 parts, and combine it in a completely different way. So if you turn this part around, and you place the tower in the middle, you connect this about there, and same with this here. You have this way to display it. Now you have the main entrance, and then you have a side entrance. This way is pretty neat. You got some balcony space to be used to guard the front instead of the back. Of course, you have the same old balcony space from that part. And then you have a little wall so that people don't jump in too much. I guess there isn't really a door here or anything, so the tower kind of looks weird in the middle there. Maybe you want to just remove the tower altogether and instead just have these 2 be attached here. That would look decent if you don't have the height to display it. Or you could display it like this and then have this guy right there, and you can display it like that. So that would be an interesting way to display the set as well. But I think I'm going to stick with the classic, original way to have the set built, which is like this. Now let's take a look at the minifigures. Our first minifigure here is the only good guy knight. It is a lion knight here. He's got a little mustache, a pretty classic face. Not too much detail, of course, just the front torso print and the face print. There's not really too much detail in any of these figures, especially this one. This is the most basic of the bunch. Then we have a Fright Night guard, I would like to call him. He's got a big Fright Night shield there. Looks pretty neat. And a wooden spear. They all have the black helmets when the Lion Knight had the gray helmet. And the torso there. It's got some nice details. Kind of looks like the Boy Scout logo. The face print, some more hair, and a mustache. Very hairy mustache. And I kind of like that the hair only goes up to the top of the helmet. So that is the Fright Night guard. We also have another Fright Night guard. Very interesting torso there. Some circles. No back printing, of course. This one has got a big full beard. His face is pretty messed up because he's pretty old. And then he's got one of the smaller shields there for him to use to defend the castle. We have a Fright Night archer. Has the old bow piece and quiver. That might not be the right brown, but oh well. Has the same torso as the first guard. And he has one of these taller helmets with a neck guard there. Pretty neat figure. Then we have some of the more interesting figures. Now this one, I don't have the face for him, so I'll show a picture of what the face is supposed to look like on screen. Looks pretty angry. But besides the face, the helmet is pretty cool. It's got like a little dragon on top and the little flumpful thing. And the torso kind of reminds me of some train engineer person that like shovels coal into a train. They have kind of this like chest plate thing here that doesn't carry on to the back, unfortunately, but that's because it's 1997, so they probably didn't have back printing. Or if they did, it would be for a very select few figures. So yeah, awesome helmet and awesome figure. We then have the witch, and the spider witch is pretty cool. She has a awesome cape here. Kind of reminds me of the Batman capes, just in red, and has a big spider on it. So that's pretty spooky. It's also one of the reasons why I knew I had this set, because I had that cape, and I had some of these other more exclusive pieces. The witch hat, very classic, and a cackling witch face. Torso, she has a necklace with a spider on there. The dress kind of carries down into the leggings, which is a printed piece. It's just a brick. I think they came out with a new piece that has like the normal figure things that stick into the torso. But for this, the original way to do it was just to make one of these pieces. And it's interesting enough, there's no tubes at the bottom. So that is the Night Witch. And then finally we have the Night Lord himself. The sword that he has, it's like that old chrome and it all chipped off. So it has like this weird translucent beneath it. He also has a bat staff. Looks pretty cool. But taking a look at the figure, he has a really cool helmet here in the shape of a bat that when you remove it, you get this face. Looks like a little bit has been chipped off. His torso kind of reminds me of a jester. Got a lot of lines and circles, but it's still very basic. Not really resembling anything that I can think of, at least. Then he has a very oddly shaped cape. Now, unless this has been cut, which I don't think it would be cut. It might have been cut up a little bit, but it's got a bat and the Fright Night logo on there. So that is the Night Lord himself. You also get some animals. So you have the Lion Knight's horse, and you're able to take off the saddle, and it comes with some little space to kind of fill in the horse, like so. You have the Fright Night horse. This is a very cool horse because he's got some armor here that you're also able to take off, and a helmet. So the horse gets a helmet and armor, and the armor holds onto a sword as well as a shield. So that is the Fright Night horse. And finally, you get a dragon, and this dragon is pretty interesting because he has big translucent orange wings. Pretty sure they're supposed to have usually black wings, of course, but for this set, it comes with translucent orange wings. Got the arms there, and then the face is of a crocodile in black, and then a custom mold for the dragon with, of course, the crocodile tail on the back. So that is the dragon and the last minifigure or animal. Here is how I display the set. It's on top of my tower of pieces. It's a very tall set, so it doesn't really fit in many of the shelves. Just have a kind of action scene here. The main character's kind of just standing at the front guarding it. Of course, you could display like all the figures out in front if you're into that, but I think it looks just fine like this with all the minifigures in their rightful place. I think it looks cool next to this plant. So maybe if you built some small trees to go along the sides, it would look cool inside of a forest. But yeah, that is how I display the set. Overall, I think the set is pretty awesome. For $160, maybe not so much unless you're into this theme, into castles, and into the nostalgia of the set that you might have. I don't have nostalgia for this set because I was born way after it came out. If I didn't already have like 95% of the pieces, I wouldn't have bought this. I had to buy a couple of the pieces, but for the most part, I had the rest of them from a garage sale. Had all the minifigures, so I just needed a couple of pieces. That's how I was able to complete the set, and that is why I'm reviewing it. All in all, I think it's a decent set. $160 now, used, $400 sealed. Not for me, but maybe it is for you. But that is all I have to say for this review. I don't have the instructions or the box, of course. But anyway, hope you enjoyed the review, and I'll see you in another video. Peace out.